Hi everyone. So today we are going to see an important topic which was in the buzz of Indian media recently, which is about the Keeladi excavations and the archaeological survey which is carried out by the Tamil Nadu state government. Results and evidence of Keeladi archaeological research has created a lot of buzz among the archaeologists, historians and among the people and Tamil enthusiasts all over the world. Let's see what is the importance of Keeladi and why these discoveries have become so significant and why these people are going mad about it. So, Keeladi is a small village which is located in Sivaganga district near Madurai town, not very far away. Right now, it falls under the Sivaganga district in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. It is a region which has been covered by coconut groves and active cultivation going on in today's 21st century, but it has been a few years now that the archaeological survey has been going on around this region. Initially, the project was taken up by central government's Archaeological Survey of India, which began their archaeological research in two major phases. And the first phase of research was conducted in the year 2015, and the second phase of research was done during 2016. During this research, they discovered a lot of antique things and evidences of proof, which proves that this region had urban civilization dating back to a long ago, which was close to the time period of Sindhu Valley civilization. And the third phase of research began after a minor turmoil between the confusions and the arguments which happened because central government were not very happy to release the results or publications on the research which was carried out in this region. And then the research was put on a hold over a few years, and then the research was taken back up by the state government of Tamil Nadu, and currently the evidences and the results which we have got is from the fourth phase of excavation which is being done by the state government of Tamil Nadu Archaeological Department. Now let's get into the exciting results, what they have published and why it has created a lot of buzz. So the things, some of them which have been excavated and discovered and identified include potteries, playing items, over 60 different types of gaming and playful products have been identified, and gold ornaments and jewelry, animal artifacts and fossils, which is around 60 to 65 different types of animals have been identified, building structures including walls, homes, big public gathering places, and also wells have been identified. In terms of iron utensils and arms, a lot of different products have been identified, and a lot more of exciting other products like big urns and cooking utensils, potteries, and all of it which was being believed to be used for storage of grains and food items during that period. So the samples from all of these products have been sent, which was chosen by the archaeological scientists, archaeological people have identified two products to be very significant. The first product was something which was discovered from a depth of 353 centimeters from the ground level. Next product was something which was identified from 200 centimeters of depth. These products were sent for carbon dating over to America and also a lab in Europe. So these products have been identified carbon dating of BC 580. So that dates back to 6th century BC. And the other product which was identified from the 200 centimeter depth is identified to be something which belongs to BC 205th year. So, what is the significance of all this? Now, let's say there is something called as Sangam era, which is a part of Tamil literature. This is a literature which is identified to cover over a span of BC 300 years to AD 300 years, which is over 1500 years and more. And these scriptures include a lot of songs and poems which is written as part of Tamil literature, which talks about the lifestyle of people who lived during that era. Grammy literature or the Grammy letters have already been mentioned in these Sangam literature poems, which we have still got with us up to date for references. Now, these samples from the Keeladi excavations, which dates back to 6th century BC, with the same scriptures which is being mentioned in the Sangam literature, proves that Sangam literature may have been been potentially something which dated 300 years earlier than what we have been believed it to be so, because the Keeladi excavations have proven that it belongs to 6th century and not 3rd century as what Sangam literature has been believed to be until date. Now, the next different interesting fact is the games. A lot of different gaming products have been identified, and over 60 different types of games played by both adults and children have been discovered. So, a civilization or a people community can get into entertainment like games, keeping themselves happy only when their food and shelter has already been taken care of. So identification of these gaming products itself is a proof without any question that the people who lived in this era were already completely civilized and led a very happy life, who had times to discover and play at all different types of games. The most important discovery that the archaeologists got excited about was the dice, which is 6-sided dice, which we use still today for a lot of other games. The references for all these games have been found in the Sangam literatures like Pattinapalai and Kalitogai. Hence, this lifestyle should have been a routine daily life practice for people who lived during that period. The another important discovery was the gold ornaments and jewelry. Now, these are not something which does not have any proper shape or structures like what we see in other discoveries. These jewelries are something which are meticulously and sharply designed gold jewelry with some brilliant craftsmanship which dates back to 6th century BC. So, and this proves the wealthiness of people who lived during that era. And the building structures, including the walls, houses, and the big urns, clearly clarify that it was an urban civilization which existed in this region during the era of 6th century BC. Though these are not something new to India, as India has been identified to have 2 other urban civilizations around the same period, which is Sindhu Valley civilization and Ganges Valley civilization. So now the exciting part is that both these civilizations exist in the northern parts of India, and southern parts of India, no such archaeological discoveries have been made or any links have been identified between the Sindhu Valley or Ganges Valley civilization so far. Now, after the Keeladi discovery, archaeologists are potentially thinking, while the Sindhu Valley and Ganges Valley civilization existed in the northern parts of India, there has also been another urban civilization which existed around this region, which is the Madurai civilization, which existed during the same time period. There have also been evidences of overseas merchants or some kind of economic communication or economic transfer or trade which existed between the people of Madurai and Roman civilization. There has been some artifacts which have been identified which does not belong to the local urban civilization but looks something which has links to Roman civilization as early as 6th century BC. Keeladi has also got pottery pieces of different sizes and shapes. There have been broken pot pieces which have been identified, and also complete pots which are unbroken has also been identified. So the archaeologists have identified there are Grami scriptures which is written with names and some other words which has been written over these pots. They believe there can only be 2 ways how this can be done. One is when the pot is wet while it is being made by the potter, who was able to read and write and wrote something on it while he was making the pot. And the other possibility is after he makes it and it's a complete product which is being sold out to people, and people wrote their own names in the pots when they took it home. So all the potteries which have been identified from Keeladi excavations are those potteries where the scriptures have been written only after they have been completely made and not when they are wet. So this is a clear proof enough that people who lived during that era were literate, who knew to read and write, and some of them had names on it. And most common names which they have identified from these pottery pieces are Kurian and Adan, and some of them had Kurian Adan written together. Now, archaeologists are not sure if it was the name of a king or somebody who was famous who lived in that region, but most of the pottery pieces have been identified to have these 2 names. What is the another significant part of this research? The Sangam period have been identified to be something which existed from 3rd century BC to 5th century BC, but now this discovery makes it as early as 6th century BC, which makes it a total span of over 2500 years that the Madurai has remained as a totally functional city over centuries. And archaeologists say it was the most easiest conclusion for them to make, that Madurai has always been a fully functional urban civilized city which existed during that period. Following all this research, archaeologists believe a lot of other regions around the Madurai city which exists today has a potential possibility to be identified as a region of archaeological significance, and they plan on to continue this excavation in the upcoming years. The most hot ongoing debate which happens in the country of India is how to link Sindhu Valley civilization to Keeladi civilization, because Sindhu Valley civilization is only around the year BC 1900 to BC 2500, but Keeladi civilization dates as early as BC 580. So that makes it a big question. How was these two connected? Or was Keeladi civilization the first urban civilization to be identified in the country of India, or in fact the first to be in the world? However, archaeologists make it very clear that Keeladi civilization is the earliest to Sindhu Valley civilization, because the difference of years from the carbon dating which is identified is that Keeladi is over 1300 years ahead of Sindhu Valley civilization. And now Tamil Nadu government archaeological department is planning to continue their 5th phase of archaeological excavations, and now they have employed so many different technologies to carry out the archaeological survey, such as magnetometers being used and ground penetrating radars which can identify in how much depth of the soil that these products have been lying around. And there are also technologies which has been used to identify what kind of minerals the soils are containing. So all these technologies have been equipped now, and hopefully the archaeologists believe that definitely these things will help us to take things forward, and people are very eagerly awaiting the results of 5th phase of excavations. And people of India and people of Tamil Nadu are very eager to continue these researches. However, they have got a demand to also continue and extend the part of research into Adichanallur, which is another small village which has been identified as a potential archaeological region and a region of archaeological significance, where already first phase of excavations and discoveries have been made by the Archaeological Survey of India a few years ago, and the carbon dating proved that the products from there dates back even earlier than the Keeladi excavations, which is around 9th century BC. So now people demand that if Adichanallur has been proven to be an earlier civilization than Keeladi, then that should also be a significant part of your research, and people are eager to know the results, of course. However, Tamil Nadu government has done a great job by bringing out all of these things and to take up this hopefully in a better way, which is going to excite historians even more. Who knows, even the history of India will be rewritten in the future if Keeladi still continues to be proven earliest urban civilization identified in the country. Thank you.